We talk Cody Bellinger next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you and all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making us your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. How about this? Let's do a roll call. Haven't done one of those in a while. Put where you're listening from, please. Just where you're listening from. City, state, would love that. As we close out a week here, this is going to be our last episode this week due to the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll be back Monday. Wow. Today's episode is presented by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets. If you win your first $5 bet, visit FanDuel.com to get started. The other thing I would say in the intro, Sam, is if for some reason you're listening to the show out of order, make sure you go back and listen to Tuesdays. We had a very special guest.
Cool. Yeah, it was I was probably, I don't typically, ever rank our shows because we do so many. It's very hard to remember all what was great, what wasn't. But I'd be shocked if I sat down for a few hours and did it if that wasn't in the top 3.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm happy to hear that. And what I'm not happy to hear about is these continued reports on Cody Bellinger. We have one from Bob Nightingale in the USA Today on Monday. This is following Ken Rosenthal and Sahadev Sharma, Patrick Moody last week, as you covered late last week. And Nightingale reported Monday that the worst kept secret at the GM meetings was the Cubs offering Cody Bellinger to, quote, anyone and everyone. So far, no team has expressed strong interest.
Yeah.
Close quote. Sam, I really want to get down to this question today. Why would the Cubs trade him? Why do they want to trade him?
Yeah.
He helped the Cubs win. He opted in. So are they so upset he opted into a contract that they gave him that they're just like, nope, get out of here. How dare you? What are the real reasons? I only see 3. One is to target a better player via free agency or trade. 2, open up playing time for younger players. And 3, reduce payroll.
See ya.
Are those the 3?
I
wanted to make sure I got them.
Looks like I'm going to be getting on break early. Yeah, look, we've talked about this, Matthew. The Cubs, this is what I knew. I knew this was coming when he opted in. The Cubs are a team filled with nice players. Cody Bellinger is one of them. They can't trade Happ. They can't trade Suzuki. They can't trade Swanson. Right. Horner, maybe. Bush and Paredes aren't making a bunch of money. So if they're going to try and improve or do something different with their team, who's the one guy that really isn't making that type of money where, number one, they could shed payroll? That's the biggest one, okay? Number 2, as you said, maybe by doing that, they could create positional flexibility and go out and get a better player. I don't think we're hearing a lot of that. And then the third one is hey, it's the best of both worlds for Tom and Jed and all those guys. We get to get rid of the salary of Bellinger, and we really get to see what Owen Casey's like for a full 150. We get to see what PCA and Shar are like. So it's just they know what this team looks like, and I think internally they don't believe he's anything close to the guy we saw in 23. They were hoping that he opted in. When they signed him last offseason, and I woke up at about 1 a.m. to do a show.
Well, no, I think you were still awake.
And you're right. You're right. I just lied. I apologize.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. I was in bed. Okay.
But we were the first Cubs podcast to have an episode up, were we not?
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah. Okay. But all I remember is this.
Don't tell that to Luke Stuckmeyer.
It was weird. It was a weird thing. Like It was like the Cubs did it by process of elimination. It was such a long staring contest, and Bellinger didn't have anybody else. The Cubs did everyone else. It wasn't like, oh, please, we really want you back, Cody. It was like, all right, we didn't get who we wanted. He didn't get what he wanted. So let's just figure this out. And hopefully after next year, like, it never felt like a match made in heaven. The Cubs just needed to do something for their fan base last year. And Owen Casey wasn't ready. They weren't sure what they were getting from PCA. So they had to shore up that for 2024. Now they feel much better about PCA. Owen Casey might be ready, and Shaw, and they don't want to pay this guy. They want to clear the salary. And so that's it doesn't surprise me. And it doesn't surprise me that they're not getting much interest. All that's been said on this.
You think they signed Cody Bellinger last winter for the fans?
No, I think last year I don't think they wanted Cody Bellinger that badly, but to make sure that they put out a decent enough product, they had to do it. Because they weren't confident in PCA yet. They weren't confident in those guys. And the fans would have melted down if they started the season with no Bellinger and Mike Tauchman as that everyday guy and whatever.
Well, that's why this is complicated for me, because I'm still close to that realm of feeling.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's a tough sell to say, for option 2, which was open up playing time for younger players.
Yep.
That, for me, that's a hard sell, and I'll get to more of why that is in a few minutes. And the other thing is, when you did that episode at 1 whatever in the morning,
yeah,
and we did our post wrap for that Monday and everything, I do think that the best case scenario, we said, hey, Bellinger will opt out.
Yeah,
that means a lot of things went well, and they just didn't. Yep. And he actually played in literally the same amount of games from 23 to 24, but he had a worse year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 23, he had a great year, but 24 he had a good year. And again, if you click around on FanGraphs, you can get some projections for 25. He doesn't project well. He doesn't.
And he's not gonna with the exit velo and stuff. He could outperform those projections. We got to make a soundboard for that.
What I don't want them to do, though, that Rosenthal floated and so did Nightingale, why on any planet would you trade Cody Bellinger for a bad contract?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Cody Bellinger to the Diamondbacks for Jordan Montgomery?
No,
please.
I agree. No, I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's a bad take.
It's horrible.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Don't do a bad contract swap. What is this? The early 2000s?
No, but I just don't see the point for the Cubs to do that. You just outlined it out why they'd get rid of Bellinger. One of them's salary. So you're going to get rid of him just to take on more salary. Then the only thing you'd be doing is opening a positional spot. No, I actually had a Diamondbacks fan in my life ask me about that like a week ago. Hey, we would love Bellinger. Would you take Montgomery? And I was like, look, I went pretty much viral for saying I wanted him last year and he was really poor, but I don't want him anymore.
Right. And I'm trying to think of a number because the other part of this is, okay, you trade him to clear some of his money, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be 100%.
Unless the only thing you want in return is like a key lime pie.
Well, and maybe they do.
Yeah.
Why? With already 53 M's available to spend? I don't know. But we'll rank the pies later. Stay tuned. But they have 53 M's available already. You could improve your team with that, still have Cody Bellinger. What's the percentage that they would want to clear? Is it 70%?
Oh,
and you're still on the books for 30? I don't even know because if you clear 70% of his salary, then you're up to about 61 M's until the first threshold. What 53, 61? Is that not all the same? It's not, but
can I be honest?
Right.
I think any way they could save a dime, they're trying to do it.
And it seems like they're trying to stay not only under the threshold, which is basically all but confirmed. They don't want to do the repeater penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that was a Carter Hawkins error or an accounting error last year, I don't know. But they don't want to pay the repeater tax, fine. But then it seems like they don't even want to go into like the 230s. They want to stay 229 or below. That's the vibes I'm getting.
Matt, we had Lance Brozdowski on this program, who's just a really intelligent baseball mind. I was watching him on Marquee today, and they did like a Lance's wish list for his offseason signings. Do you want to know what they are? And I'm not poking fun at Lance at all. This is just, I'm just getting our listeners to understand what the expectations are.
My guess is he has one of the non-tenders from the other day.
Eovaldi for 3 years, 51.
That would be good.
Kyle Higashioka, 2 years, 16.
That would be good too.
Kyle Finnegan,
Nah.
1 year, $8 million.
Nope. Out.
And Jordan Romano, 1 year, $8 million.
It's a bad take.
That's it. That's all he wants.
The Romano signing would be bad.
Well, who knows if they'd be bad or good? It's just, that's it, folks.
It's too risky. It's too risky.
But what is it? It's too risky. So we're going to get one starter. And to be fair to him, maybe he's not including trades. This is just free agents. But looks like a starter, a catcher, a couple relievers.
Well, no, let's talk about that. I think
he's a smart guy.
I think it is trending towards that. Starter, 2 or 3 relievers. Like maybe they bring back Lopez. They get a so-called bigger name. They get a lefty and a catcher. I think it's 4 or 5 of those guys. Plus Josh Rojas, another utility.
So offensively, we're not adding anybody besides that catcher.
Not sure right now, but I'm going to say I'd say no right now. And what I want to do right now, because you might be asking, well, what's the difference between clearing Bellinger and plugging in Owen Casey and replacing Nico Horner with Matt Shaw? This is basically the same. Shaw might have the highest ceiling out of anyone in the Cubs organization.
For sure.
Meanwhile, Casey, strikeout rate still high. He's not a boomer bust, but I just don't have the confidence I have in Casey than Shaw. Why would you just clear a spot for Casey? I can't get on board. I'm sorry.
Optics. Because you could sell that to the fan base. The fans will be much more excited to watch Owen Casey hit.
I can visualize a world where they make those acquisitions and they trade Horner and Bellinger. Here's the lineup if they do that. Happ in left, Swanson at short, Suzuki's the DH, Bush cleanup at first, Paredes at third, PCA in center, Shaw at second, Casey in right, Amaya catching.
Let's go to the next segment.
That's the lineup. That's where we're moving towards, is it not?
Well, if Swanson's batting second, what we'll do, if Swanson's our opening day 2-hitter, I'm not making
a screenshot of this, send it to your friends, people out there listening.
No, I'm not making fun of your lineup. In this lineup, he would bat second. Listen to me. If we open the season with Swanson batting second, you and I will talk. We'll put out an application, and somebody could apply to be a co-host of this show with you.
So you would actually leave the show?
I don't think I could cover a team seriously if that guy's batting second every day. That version of him, unless he really starts to hit.
Well, maybe you move things around. Bush bats second,
and Swanson bats fourth.
Well, no, Paredes fourth.
In this lineup, I'd hit Shaw second. Who cares, right? I mean, it's just not.
Well, I don't know. We don't know enough about it to move the players. I'm just saying those are the players.
Yeah, and that's not a good enough lineup. And I love Cap to death. And he came on here and said he thinks the Cubs are going to win the division. That lineup ain't winning the division.
I don't see how they could be favorites with this lineup.
I don't know if they could be favorites to beat Pittsburgh. And unless somebody takes a gigantic step forward, unless Suzuki becomes, prime Manny Ramirez in the offseason.
Wow. I think I'm going to tweet this lineup out tonight before I go to Chili's.
Oh, really?
I think I'm going to tweet out that lineup, say, hey, let's get
chip salsa.
Let's get
chicken
warmed up
wings.
for this.
Start there and then see how you feel before you go to the entree.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I think stuffing.
Wow.
Yeah. I think stuffing.
I've really warmed up to stuffing.
What about you?
Yeah, I would say some type of. Well, I like the classics: turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy on
You're
top
not
of
like
it
a
all.
cranberry guy, are you?
No,
Okay. I was gonna
but I
say.
am a little bit of a casserole.
Yeah, like a
fan.
green bean casserole. Man,
Maybe.
last year I went to Anthony's for Thanksgiving. Man, did they have a good one.
Yeah. See. All right.
So, all right.
Coming up next, who could trade for Bellinger? Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, you live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets, folks. Thanksgiving, football, turkey. Look, the Lions have gone down. They're 10-point favorites against the Bears. I'm really conflicted as to how that's going to be a competitive football game. The Lions last year lost on Thanksgiving. They're going to want to avenge that. The Bears have played decent the last few weeks, lost heartbreakers. They're due for a dud on one of the sides of the football, maybe both. I just think the Lions are going to roll them. And I got to be honest with you, I don't even hope I'm wrong. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League.
We're back here on Locked On Cubs. So Cody Bellinger's on the trade market. If you could clear 70% of his contract but only receive a small return, would you even do that?
Yes. I am different than you on the Bellinger thing. I am okay with moving on from him. The only thing that I am hesitant about is that I do think he's one of the guys that suffered more in 24 with the Wrigley conditions. Because I think Bellinger's a condition hitter, man. He just doesn't crush the ball anymore. Like if I were the New York Yankees, I'd be on the phone with him. He is meant to hit in the ballpark like that. If I was Cincinnati, I mean, the Cubs would never trade him in division, but say one of those parks, I think that would be a great place for him. So I guess the case to not trade him would be if Wrigley has a normal summer, I could see him getting back into the high 20s, 27, 28 homers and being that guy. But I am in the loop where I am fatigued with this group, with this core group, and I want to see some different faces and see some different paths. And Bellinger's the guy that makes the most sense. I mean, Happ would make sense, but they have a no trade clause with him. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. So what's I haven't done this type of math. So what is he making? $27 million. So if they get rid of 70% of that, what's that like?
Yeah,
18,
you just eat $8 million.
8, 19, 20. Okay, so you're eating 8. So you're paying Bellinger 8 to go. So you're basically paying Owen Casey then $8 million this year, essentially in that realm.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of
and they might deal Horner to clear a spot for Shaw and continue the shakeup. And
I know.
By the way, here's Shaw hitting second. He just flipped with Swanson.
I know this sounds really lazy, but I just have to see it on the field. Like if Bellinger hits 285 and has an OPS in the low to mid 8s, then great. I'm glad we kept him. If he hits 250, if he's last year's version, because you got to also remember, guys, his value, his big value last year was the Cubs didn't think PCA was going to take the center field job and run that fast with it. No pun intended. And so, So now he's a corner outfielder. Corner outfielder putting up those numbers versus center fielder is two totally different things. Center field's taken care of. I don't know. I guess I'm whatever works best is where I'm at. I don't have a strong feeling. I'm just ready to move on from the same group of guys.
Got it. All right. Well, that helps me understand more. I do think there's 7 possible suitors, which is not a small amount. I do think there could be a market for this guy.
New York.
Well, I have the 5 finalists for Soto, just automatic 5 teams.
Yep.
It's actually reported on Tuesday. Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Dodgers. Now, the last team probably doesn't want to reunite with their former player, but maybe.
Who's that? The Dodgers?
Yeah. And then I have maybe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the 5 Soto finalists. Whoever loses that derby, I think they talk to the Cubs.
I think
especially the Yankees.
I think there should be some teams interested in him.
What? I have 2 more: the Phillies.
Yeah, love that one.
And the Angels.
And the Angels. Well, the Angels are just interested in anybody.
Right.
You go out to LA, take a little BP, run first to third. You may get a contract from the Angel.
Yeah. So that's 7 teams: Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Phillies, and Angels. There's definitely a path. And I also think there's a path for Horner to be traded because he could play short for the Guardians or short for, whoever. It doesn't have to be second.
Yeah, the injury thing with him is going to be the problem.
Right. That's true.
It
would be a small return for him then, too.
Yeah, I just don't know what the goal is this season is. Like what are we doing? Like, are we? Because these moves, it sounds like Jed deep down doesn't believe that this core group of guys can get him where he wants to go.
Right, he'd like to switch it up.
Yep, which he should, but he's also the same guy that got the group of guys.
Right.
So.
Right. Man, what a situation, huh?
Well, remember, Bellinger was acquired. I think it was a 1-year, $17 million deal to shore up center field before the 23 season. And then he just took off.
Lead off the winter meetings.
And he just took off. And so now it's created this thing. And, you got the Belly. And it's like, he's not that guy. Yeah. He's a good baseball player. It's not Sammy. Wow. He's not that type of player. He's a good baseball player, and he should be paid like a good baseball player. So the question you have to ask is 27.5 worth too much for a good baseball player? And really the answer should be no. But the thing is, they're paying 20 plus for Suzuki. They're paying 20 plus for Happ. They're paying 27 for Swanson. One of those guys needs to be great for this thing to work. We all know it. It's the same. It's every show we do.
It's the same show every time.
It's different paths to the same end result. We need somebody internally. Now, if you're going to tell me next year Matt Shaw is going to bat 277 with 28 home runs, 95 runs batted in, and 840 OPS, playing in the middle of the infield to replace a Horner, then bring me back Bellinger, please.
Well, what? Well, okay.
That if he's going to be that good, then Bellinger playing that complimentary role works. But when you have everybody, when you have Morel batting 180 and Paredes 202 and Amaya 178 and Swanson 241, then you need somebody to lift up everybody, and he ain't that guy.
You could make a case that for a lot of the year, the Cubs had seven players.
Right.
They didn't even fill out a full 9.
And Bellinger was that guy in 2023 for a couple of months, and that's why the Cubs played great baseball.
Coming up next, maybe some more Thanksgiving discussion and a little bit of trivia as well. Stay tuned. We're back here on Locked On Cubs. Thank you so much for joining us. Last episode this week. 10 players appeared in the outfield for the Cubs in 2024. Can you name them?
I don't want to. Bellinger, PCA,
Go Cubs.
Happ,
right?
Suzuki,
right?
Talkman.
Those are the 5 obvious ones.
Canario,
correct.
Wisdom,
correct. Ugh. These last 3 guys played 3 games each in the outfield.
Give me a sec. Don't start with this. Don't need any hints or anything like that. I got to get my mind to this Cubs team.
Yeah.
Did Master Boney do anything out there? Yeah. Okay. Oof, boy. So that's 2.
You just need 2 more.
Oh man, what a team, huh? Oh, Alcantara.
Yeah.
I got one left.
Yeah, this is a doozy.
Who made their debut?
Very early in the year.
Okay. Oh, I got him. Garrett Cooper.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Hey, so real quick. So this weekend I was still coming down with this virus and I was sitting at home I was really bored. Really bored and kind of restlessly bored.
Right.
And so I was like, I want to go on the Cubs. I want to guess the Cubs schedule from last year in order from beginning to end and see how many I could get right and check myself. I missed 2 series. I flipped 2 series. I missed early in the year. I missed early in the year when they went to Arizona. And then I think I flopped one of the Red series at Wrigley that they lost.
Well, I'm going to get you to name the whole roster, I think. I think I'm on a mission to do that.
I'm not good at the rosters, though. You're better at rosters. I'm better at just the schedules and hey, what happened in this game.
Well, how about we do that for the holiday party next month?
Yeah, I'm good with the schedules. I could tell you, hey, game 2 against the Reds, Suzuki dropped the ball early June, grand slam. I was at that one, but then the next day, Ben Brown gave up that home run to what's that little lefty's name on the Reds?
Fraley.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Fraley. Friedel. Yeah. I think he got Ben Brown twice this campaign.
Yeah, I think it was on the same pitch.
I think he hits 5 or 6 homers all year. I think 4 of them came against us.
Thank you so much for checking out.
Oh, no Thanksgiving stuff. All right, forget the holiday. Guess we're
well,
done.
what's the worst dish?
I don't like cranberry sauce.
I never was a fan.
Can I be honest with you? You want to know what my least favorite thing for Thanksgiving
is? It the dessert?
I don't really like turkey. I like the potatoes and the broccoli casserole and the green bean, the mac and cheese. But the turkey is probably the thing I could do without.
It's a bad take.
All right. It puts you to sleep too.
Yeah, it does do that, which might be beneficial if you're going to eat on the early side of the kickoff on Thursday. Hey, listen, piece of advice. If you're going to, and oh, by the way, the second game, Cowboys-Giants, you can sleep through that too. So,
I'm not excited for any of the games.
So what I would do, try and get your meal in around 12:30, 1 o'clock, eat a lot, and then sleep till 6 o'clock, and then have a nice, a late night with the family. That's what I would.
Yeah, the cozies eat late Thanksgiving.
Yeah, maybe you could watch a little Dolphins, Packers, hang out a little bit, do a little Black Friday stuff online.
Marquise probably running the Cubs game from this year.
That's going to be a no for me. I'll be watching the Illini basketball team. That's my big days at 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's right.
Right after the Bears on CBS.
Wow, that's a good lead-in.
They play Arkansas. I hope Tim Brando. Oh, no, Brando's on Fox now. Wonder who'll be on the call for that game on CBS. Boy, tough gig. Have to work
Sparrow
Thanksgiving.
Deeds.
Oh, Sparrow. Yeah, no, he's good.
Yep. All right. Good conversation today. We'll be back on Monday.
Happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy the time off. Get away from stuff. Enjoy the time off. Don't think about work. Don't think about the Cubs. Right. Enjoy the family time.
We appreciate you listening and watching our program. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
See ya.